Hey there, everybody. Sean Pearce, President and CEO of Dental Peers, Canada's premier and longest running buying group exclusively for dentists in private practice, bringing you the savings that DSOs of a similar size would enjoy. So if you're looking for that opportunity, why don't you just reach out and connect and see what Dental Peers is all about? And today, on this installment of Quick Hits, we are going to delve into the world of marketing because there's a lot of exciting stuff happening. It changes quickly, and if we're still using yesterday's thoughts, yesterday's ideas, we might not be capturing the market that we're looking for. So it's always about trying to keep current, up to date, making sure we're using the latest trends in marketing that attract the greatest attention. And to help me with that, I am joined by my friend Gavin Ripe, who is Gavin Mohan, sorry, who is the president of Ripe VIP. Gavin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thank you. Thanks for having me. I look forward to chatting today.
Yeah, sorry about the little slip up, Gavin Ripe. I mean, come on. Get it, Gavin, why do I bring Gavin on board here? Because Gavin and his team, this is a team that is constantly staying on the cutting edge of making sure they know what's going on in the marketing world. And they have to. Yes, they look after a lot of dentists and small businesses and that kind of thing, but they are also responsible for looking after the marketing and social media and you name it of some of the biggest stars that I'm not going to be able to compete with. I mean, he looks after and has done work with people the likes of a Jennifer Lopez, The Weeknd, Drake, people that, I might not quite have the same cachet with, but, we still have to try to see what we can learn from some of those bigger accounts and apply to the best of our ability to do so. And Gavin allows me to be able to bring some of that knowledge into the dental world. So, Gavin, how are things down in Toronto with the World Cup going on these days?
Yeah, we're about 1 week or so into the World Cup. It's a bit crazy on match days for sure. But it's good to see all the different cultures. Like if we look at our office or we look at our outside of our condos, you can see people wearing their hometown jerseys walking across the sidewalk to go to a watch party or to go to the stadium. So yeah, it was exciting to see at least Canada get the draw on their first match, and we look forward to the next match this Thursday, I believe, in BC.
All right, that's a lot of fun stuff. I got my old Canada jersey on. I do have a new one as well, but just wore the old one today. Sport the team, sport the love. But I wanted to sort of explain before we get into our conversation as to why I felt it was important to bring you on. And it came up because of an interview I heard on CBC Radio, where what they were talking about, they had some other marketing expert on, and he was saying a lot of the things that are happening with the typical Google searches of the days gone by that small businesses relied upon to create traffic towards their websites may no longer be as effective as they used to be. And by that, I guess it would be sort of more what I would call the soft searches, rather than saying, look, I'm looking for a dentist near me, I might be looking for advice on the fact that my gums are bleeding. What should I do? And maybe as a dentist, you've been in the past trying to drive traffic to your website to move your ranking up the Google search engines that way. So you've got your blog going and people have come and they've found you through these searches and you've got your articles on why gums bleed. Well, now Google's AI is providing them that answer for you. And Google's going through and they're scouring the websites and they're getting the information and accumulating it and putting it onto their own AI system. And sure, I guess if you are that much more curious as a consumer, you can still go past the Google's AI answer and go to an actual website, but a lot of people won't. So, Gavin, what impact is that having in the world of search engine traffic and people going onto dental or even other websites these days?
Uh, yeah, for sure. Everything you're saying is basically correct so far, and it's caused the overall kind of global website decrease in organic search traffic going to people's websites because, like you mentioned, for a specific question, Google wants to use their AI Gemini tool to help answer that specific question for users to have a faster, positive experience. We're going to read all the websites for you and formulate what we think is the best answer, most accurate answer. And we're going to answer it for you within the search results so that you don't have to go to the actual dentist's website and read it and decipher it for yourself. We've read it and we've used our own critical thinking to determine what the answer is on your behalf. And when users or patients have a specific question, if they can get that question answered and know what to do at home or know what next steps to take, that's pretty much all they came to the computer to do in that moment. So they get the answer and they close the window, and you do not get credit or you do not get a count to your website as an actual traffic. So your reports are going to look lower, even though the amount of users of people who are searching for things is the same or going up or growing. The amount of people searching for answers has gone up, but your traffic has decreased. And it might not be the fault of your marketing company or your in-house marketing person. It's something that we're seeing for a lot of specific searches. And a high volume of searches is also specific. They're not just the general soft searches. People just need a quick answer to things, and they trust Google to now answer it for them without having to read the website.
which is efficient when you're on the consumer end.
Yeah.
Perhaps a little unnerving when, we've spent so much time in the past really emphasizing the importance of driving traffic to websites and using some of those organic methods. Now we have to revamp our strategies a little bit if we're going to try to make sure that we are first and foremost in the minds of the consumer. So what are we going to do? What's our if the traditional SEO model is maybe not completely out the window, but at least not necessarily the only tool that we should be, resting our laurels on. What other options do we need to start considering if we really want to be that much more visible?
Sure. So we get that question a lot. Or now that our dentists are seeing the AI summaries coming up, they're like, "Well, how do I get my answer to be the best answer that shows up as the official AI answer?" Because if you look closely, a lot of the AI answers still have a foot link in case the patient wants to know where Google got that answer from, like what's the expert that they read, because they're basically just trusting Google to read things for you. They know that Google isn't making the answer as if Google is the doctor. They're still reading other doctors' websites and articles to get you that answer. So if you like the answer or you're curious of who came up to, oh, that's a good answer. I want to book my appointment with whoever Google decided was the best answer for me to see. That's still a possibility to get some flow through. So a lot of questions we're getting is doctors are like, "Oh, when the answer is summarized by Google and I click on that link, it's a competitor or another dentist of mine that is the actual source that Google chose to answer with. How do I become the expert source?" So when you do talk about these services or answer these questions on your website, you have to add more, toot your own horn a little bit and add more credible reasons as to why you're so sure this is the answer instead of just resting on that I'm a doctor, I went to school for this. If there's anything like a local community award or another doctor that has spoke highly about you on this subject, or you've collaborated with a brand like Invisalign, and together you guys have come up with this decision or recommendation, you have to kind of mention that in your writing now, because Google is reading your writing like a human would read it and basically making a decision of what's the most trustworthy resource to go to. So, libel and false information is like a big no-no on the internet, something to put on your website. So if you do self-publish on your website that you did win this award or you did collaborate with Invisalign, Google is trusting that that's the truth. So there's no harm in tooting your own horn and making sure that you're putting the reasons why you're a credible resource, why you're an expert on the subject, rather than just relying on the doctor prefix on your name to be enough. There's other doctors publishing lots of articles as well. So at least in your local area, if you have anything that adds a little bit of a trophy or a little bit of a publication or something you can add to your name, you might want to add that to every page that you have writing on, or every FAQ that you answer. You might want to have a footer note as to like, this is based on my collaboration with so and so, or this is coming from two-time local Whitby winner of the Top Choice Awards. It sounds a little braggadocious, but if you want to show up in the AI results, we recommend adding as much credibility to every piece of writing that you do now.
And then, of course, there's another factor that dentists have to be concerned about in their marketing is, you don't want to run afoul of the governing rules. from the RCDSO saying that you're not supposed to go out there saying you're the best, you're better, all these kind of things. You kind of have to say it without saying it, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be a little bit cautious in terms of how you're going to phrase that. Make, if necessary, perhaps run it by a rep from the ODA or the RCDSO, get their approval and go from there. But it is that little bit of kind of cross-pollination, I guess, if you will, in terms of increasing your credibility by showing that, look, I do this work. Maybe even, I don't know, does it help if I even have my blog appear on somebody else's page then as well? Does that give it a little bit more credibility, or is that still, no, still Google's going to chop you out because AI is going to just run the show for you?
So backlinks is still a big thing. If other blogs are talking about you and you have links coming to your website, that's still a big factor that Google can pick up on fast between two sites that are linking to each other. It's still a big part of SEO, and that hasn't changed. After the AI summary or after the ads, there's still organic listings, and a lot of people skip past both the AI summary sometimes or both the ads, and they just want to see who's ranked the highest naturally, organically, without any interference from ad dollars or even the AI summary. The AI summary can sometimes be basing their decision on which doctor to promote in their AI answer, like I said, just by mentioning one little award they won 20 years ago in school, but does not necessarily mean they have the best results as a dentist. So sometimes, you don't have to be that savvy to know that I still want to see whose websites are the best organically. So backlinks is still a big thing. Um, what we recommend doing is to try to tiptoe the line with the college and what you're allowed to promote is that you want to just post as many factual, helpful things as possible to the page. So if you do have results, if you do have before and after pictures, and your province allows the showing of those results, they might allow it in a certain way. Like you can't show the patient's eyes or age or gender, but you're allowed to show just the teeth or just the smile. A lot of websites I notice are missing that social proof, and and Google is starting to read your website like a human would read it. So in the past, the pictures and diagrams wouldn't make much of a difference. All that mattered were the words and the links that were on your site because you had a computer, you had an algorithm that was looking just for the links or just for certain keywords like your city or your service or Invisalign or those kinds of word buzzwords, and it would base your ranking on that alone. But now it's reading web pages based on how um, I don't want to use the word modern, but how well organized the page is, how easy it is for a patient to digest. And if you're offering resources and diagrams and pictures that can make help patients understand faster than just a lot of text, that's going to be counted as you're more credible, you're more of an expert, and it's going to look at those results as factual rather than you selling yourself. And I think that's the big issue with the college is that they don't want to be used as a sales technique that I'm the best in my area because because I have the biggest badge on Invisalign or something like the biggest provider badge. That's still not enough to say you're the best. But if you have results that can showcase transparently that you have experience in this and you have years behind it and you mention how many years you've been doing this and you have pictures and you have video testimonials from patients, all that can be now picked up on and read by the AI to like you're credible without, I think, without the college saying that you're not saying you're better. This patient testimonial is saying you're better. And in that way, I think you kind of get off the hook with the college. You could also get picked up by Google.
I love all of that. The proverbial, if a picture paints 1,000 words, I guess, is really coming to a Google web page near you. There's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff to unpack and a lot of things that I still want to get into, but this is quick hits, and we've hit sort of that time limit that I like to keep the information flowing at. So, Gavin, I'm probably going to have to bring you back because I think there's other things that we can talk about that strategy wise people might want to consider in terms of making sure that their marketing dollars are being wisely spent. So, we're going to bring you back if you're good with that.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one more thing to this topic before I go, if there's time. I just wanted to add that it is a big difference between the soft searches and the more specific searches with the AI summaries that are coming up. Like I just wanted to double down on what you were mentioning that when it comes to more general, short phrase searches in Google, like you mentioned, dentist near me or dentist Toronto, dentist Ottawa. We don't see the AI summaries coming up. We see the Google ads coming up, and the ad space is getting larger and larger of the first page of results. So some dentists that need to get patients right away as soon as possible. Um, yes, they should start the journey of organic writing and trying to write for AI, getting picked up as an AI expert. But even when you produce that work today, there's a bit of a lead time of a few months before it can be seen as the best content. So the organic content takes a bit of a runway, whereas the ads, especially if you're a new clinic, you can start seeing guaranteed promotions and listings in the Google Ads section as early as 3 to 5 days of highly effective ads working and your phone's ringing and your inbox filling up with bookings rather quickly. So we tend to recommend getting a good ad vendor or learning, taking the time to learn the ads platform for yourself and run the ads heavier in the beginning. And then as your SEO starts to build up and you start becoming the natural search results and people book with you more through SEO and you have more of an established name in your community, you don't need to spend as much on ads anymore. You are filling your chairs, you're filling your capacity, you're filling your associate schedules without relying on the ads. You can start to dwindle down the ad spend. But in the beginning, I would go higher ad spend as the organic starts to naturally grow.
Well, we're going to explore that a little bit more in the next time we chat because I definitely wanted to get into, are we going to need to see that kind of a shift before to more deliberate advertising than maybe was the case in the past? But I'm going to
Sure.
let people go at this point in time. Thank you very much for joining us today. Gavin, if people wanted to reach out to you to learn more about what they should be doing for their marketing needs, how do they get a hold of you?
So our website is short and simple. It's ripe.vip. It's a little bit different. It's not .com.ca. It's just ripe.vip. And when you go to our website in the top, we've actually made our mouse cursor that if you click anywhere that's not a button, it goes to our schedule to book a time with one of our managers. So it's very easy to find the calendar and to book a time with us, and we can do a kind of a free consult or look over your website or look over your search results with you. Other than that, if you just have a quick question, you can text us or call our office at 833 RIPE VIP. Very easy to remember. 833 RIPE VIP.
And I'm going to make sure that contact information shows up in the comments so people can find that easily. But until the next time, I will be back with another mystery guest. We're going to be back with Gavin as well, but there could be another mystery guest coming your way here on Quick Hits at some point in time. So I hope you enjoyed this installment, and I look forward to seeing you back in the near future. Take care, everyone.
Bye, everybody.